Hi, Sean McCracken here from Hotel News Now, speaking with Marriott's Chief Development Officer for North America and full service hotels. It's Noah Silver. How you doing, Noah?
Good to be with you, Sean.
Productive NYU thus far?
It's been great so far, yeah, thank you.
So full service is an interesting space right now. There's a lot going on. There seems to be a lot of conversation about cycle dynamics and interest in select service hotels because people are worrying about when things might turn. What are you seeing in general for the full service space?
We're still seeing a lot of activity in full service. I'd say it's concentrating for us. I just came from doing a panel at NYU on our soft brands, luxury collection, autograph collection, and tribute portfolio. A lot of interest in those soft brands, all of which sit in the full service space. Delta Hotels, which is a brand that we acquired a couple of years ago, Canadian-based, but has now grown and extended into the U.S. and around the globe. Also a full-service brand, targeted mainly toward conversions, but has been a real vehicle for growth for us with a lot of interest. In the 2 years since we launched it, really at this conference back in June of 2015. So while there's certainly some, I think, traditional full-service hotels, maybe where the interest level among the development community has declined over the years, that kind of traditional full-service 300-room suburban hotel with 25,000 square feet of meeting space, something like that. You know, the interest in those kind of hotels has really ceded to select service in those markets. We're still seeing a lot of interest and activity in the full-service space.
Okay. Any trends, within that full service space of what people are liking to see? I mean, I'm guessing, from the conversations you hear here and elsewhere, maybe less interest in ballroom type stuff, or is it?
It depends. I think actually, if you get big enough, we opened with a development partner based in Houston, the Houston Marriott Marquis, late last year. 1,000-room hotel. 90,000 plus square feet of meeting space, the largest ballroom in the state of Texas. Those hotels, and there's real demand, continuing demand for those group big box hotels. We're under construction now with a 1,500-room hotel in Aurora, Colorado, the Gaylord Rockies, that has over 500,000 square feet of meeting space, including large ballrooms. So at a certain size and scale, we still think there's lots of demand in the group space, and the bookings for these hotels have really been terrific. Again, maybe some of the more traditional suburban full-service hotels, I think, aren't attracting the same level of interest that they once did. And I think even in the soft brand space that I mentioned earlier, there are maybe a movement away in some cases from meeting space in kind of that independent lifestyle, experiential-driven hotel space. So if you think about full service in the traditional sense of heavy F&B, heavy banquet, heavy catering, lots of meeting space, I think the focus for us in full service has morphed in certain cases to different kinds of hotels, right? Maybe still focus on a concierge lounge kind of experience, elevated finishes, elevated fitness rooms, other things that we think now are maybe defining a full service hotel in a slightly different way than you may have in the past. But it's sort of market driven and just kind of case by case what really works in a particular market.
So I guess that brings up an interesting piece since you guys were, you have been talking during this conference a lot about the soft brands and the collections. Full service, like you mentioned, is kind of a moving target in terms of expectations. I mean, how do you define what you guys want for one of your full service soft brands? Like what boxes need to be checked to be, a Marriott full service hotel, even if it's got its own identity?
So you asked kind of two questions, one specific to Marriott, one on the soft brands. The soft brands differ from one another. So if we're talking about an autograph collection hotel, maybe different expectations than a luxury collection hotel. Same different expectations if we're talking about a tribute portfolio hotel. All full service in the sense that they're going to offer food and beverage. They're going to be elevated experiences kind of in the upper upscale tier. So in the soft brand space, some differentiation, but focus in those areas. A core brand Marriott hotel, still very likely to have meeting space, still very likely to have a group orientation to it, especially if they're getting done today. But we're also focusing in other areas of the hotel. So the M Club Lounge is, for us, the evolution of the traditional concierge lounge to better serve the loyal consumers, Marriott Rewards members that are coming into those hotels than a traditional 3-bedroom, 3-bay concierge lounge may have in the past. So we see things like M Club Lounge, like the ability to get food to the room, maybe not in the traditional room service way, but still, on the tray, but some ability to get food to the room, some level of service, some level of finishes. We still see those as the core elements of what makes a full-service hotel.
So where are the white spaces for you guys, either brand-wise, regionally? I mean, is it growth in a brand like Delta? Is it growth for the soft brands? Like, where do you really see the areas for growth?
So where we're seeing them right now is concentrated in the soft brands and in Delta, although across the brands, again, limited to my full-service world, certainly there continues to be tremendous momentum and interest in all of Marriott's select service brands. But in the full-service space in particular, the concentration of interest right now is coming in the soft brands and with Delta, which isn't to say, though, that we aren't doing projects across all of the brands. I'd say in the United States and Canada, which is the region that my team has responsibility for, maybe a little less in the luxury tier than in other areas around the globe with luxury. We've been focused beyond the brands I just identified in, whether it's Marriott, Renaissance, Sheraton, Le Méridien, Westin. Those brands all have some degree of interest and ongoing growth with them. But the single greatest contributor to our growth right now in terms of deal volume is coming from the 4 brands that I identified at the outset, the soft brands in Delta.
So when you're working with developers and owners interested, in putting a full-service hotel on the ground, are you hearing any feedback from them about their opinions on the cycle or how that might impact their brand selection or just how they're putting together their properties in general?
Yeah, some of that's starting, no question. I mean, we're facing some headwinds today that maybe have started to blow a little bit stronger than they did a year or so ago. But they're in many ways kind of the similar issues, whether it's construction cost, labor challenges, just a general feeling that maybe kind of as the cycle extends itself, given the number of consecutive months that we've had RevPAR growth, maybe we're getting closer to the end of the cycle than the beginning, and that will always cause some degree of maybe a tamping down of developer enthusiasm for new projects. But overall, the volume is still pretty strong in terms of what we're seeing. Deals are penciling, deals are getting done, and we still feel pretty good about the overall level of growth that we're getting with our full service platform.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Noah. I really appreciate you carving out the time to do this.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Happy to do it. Thanks, Sean.
Sean McCracken, you for Hotel News Now. Thanks.